A few hours south of Phoenix is the Tohono Reservation. It is the second largest reservation in Arizona at 2.8 million acres. The capital is Sells, about 60 miles west of Tucson. 10 miles south of the capital is Topawa, where the local museum is situated. In 2007, the tribe opened a contemporary museum and cultural center complex in this sparsely populated area after soliciting the public for the best site to serve the goals of the new center. The staff and local residents involved in the museum are an excellent bunch of people and work hard to educate the public about a long history of being in the Sonoran Desert, a 120,000 square mile desert located in southwestern North America and wrapping around the northern region of the Sea of Cortez in Sonora and Sinaloa, Mexico.
We're desert people, but yet the ocean is very strong and significant in our culture. And so we respect the ocean immensely, and we always leave offerings. That's what we're told to do when we come to the ocean.
So we'll say our prayer and we'll say, thank you, Creator. Thank you for bringing me back over here to the ocean. And again, for viewing this wonderful thing that you've given to us. Because again, Grandfather, you tell us that the ocean is a sacred person, a sacred being. And when we come to the ocean, the first thing we do is to offer a prayer for all our relatives that are here collecting seashells. Let's say to you, to all my relations, aho. To all my relations, aho, aho.
I'm looking for this type of shell right here. And this is, archaeologically, I had read that this is the only type of shell that was found in a site where etching was done on this type of shell. It's important. And even for myself and those of us at the museum, we're learning as well. And I think it's just really important because when we first decided to do this topic or this art form, we then needed to turn to someone who was familiar or who practiced it. And there are only a handful. One at Gila River, Salt River, and then we just learned of another person that's T.O., our tribe. Well, we're all at them, but we're kind of separated on different reservations. But we just learned about one person in the Gila Bend area. So that's interesting to know that there's another person that also does the shell etching.
The Tohono, the Akarmatum, the Haicharatum, the Dodagatum, and all the other tribes from Salt River all the way down to where we're at today in the Sea of Cortez, we're all the same people. And so we all have a relationship with the ocean. Our people were descendants of the Huagum. You know, like the word Huagum, right? So the word Huagum basically just means it's a polite way of saying those that have passed. And so when you talk about people that are no longer here, then you say Huagum. And so then archaeologists took that word and turned it into the word that we know today as the Ho'okum. Was that when you wear this shell, you not only recognize yourself and affiliate yourself with one of us, but you give respect to the fact that we depend on water, and that water is that life-giving resource that we couldn't survive in the desert without. But it also shows that we have a deeper connection to the Kachk, or to this ocean, and so it ties us all together. And I started it about 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. So about when I was 18 or 19, I was trying to stay out of trouble, and I just had a baby, and I was learning more about our culture, our Atamimadak. No matter how far I get into this, I'm still gonna learn little nuances of how it was done. This is an ancient art form that for about 1,000 years wasn't practiced. And so there's a lot of loss right there. And so we're all just trying to experiment and find out how close we can get to it. And so this is something that's totally different than basketry or pottery, where those are continued traditions that stand the test of time, that are time honored, that have been passed down from generation to generation. And in this instance, we don't have that opportunity. And so we have to look at the land and the context that you find them, what you find them with, tells you the kind of tools that were used. What you find over there shows you the relationship with the areas over here. So the fact that these shells were primarily used for etching is pretty awesome, because this is the primary site for them. And just a mile across these dunes is where we gather salt. And so we have these connections with this land. And
so traditionally, we had what we call a salt pilgrimage. It was really a journey that the men would make to the coast to collect salt. And in areas like where we visited today, that was one of the spots that they would go to collect salt. And this is like way back in time before the Spanish brought horses to the area. And so everything was done on foot. And so these men would come from their various communities on our lands, and they would travel on foot to the Gulf to collect salt and shells and other things. But salt was used in ceremony. It was used to trade with other indigenous people. And so it was an important commodity.
This is the spring that our ancestors used when they came up to collect the salt. So when they came up from Tohono, this was the area where they camped out to collect the salt, and then they knew this spring was available for them to drink. When the runners come to collect the salt, the leader makes sure that all the participants that are there will drink the water here before they head back to Tohono. So that's the story of the spring here.
For autumn, we look at this time of the year as the beginning of a new year, of a new beginning. We live here in the Sonoran Desert, so we're always looking for water. Water is life, and it's very true for the autumn. In the past, they had to go out and collect their food in the desert. Our food, our medicine, anything that we needed, we found in the desert. We used the desert. When we talk about the Sawara harvest, we also have to talk about the rain ceremony, because without it, we wouldn't be able to have the rain ceremony. Without the rain ceremony and without the rains, we would have a very hard time living here.
Here. I'm just scooping it out.
Scooping it out. There's too much.
Yeah, it'll all come out once we start boiling it down. Okay, now we're gonna pour it into the bucket.
That bucket.
I mean this pot, yeah. Ready? It's pretty. It's gonna cook good. After a while, we'll need a spoon. But it's okay now.
So we're doing it in the modern way right now because we're using modern materials. Yeah, we're using nail polish and we're using vinegar. But the old traditional way is that they use the ushop. They call it the ushop, which is the sap from the mesquite tree. When it gets real hot, the trees will start producing a sap that comes out of the mesquite trees. They also use the ushop from the shuki. The shuki is a creosote brush, so they will use that as we're using the nail polish, so they can paint it on there. We're going back in time, and we're trying to bring it back what they used to do. So, and this is more of a history lesson, hands-on history lesson on how the Hohokams used to do the shell etching. Actually, this was more the latter period of the Hohokam era, which is more in the 1500 AD. And then so that's why we're doing this to remind everybody that what our ancient relatives used to do, and then to make you aware that we did go to the ocean, we did get seashells. And again, and the shells are mainly worn for jewelry. Okay, so that is why we are doing this, and to bring back to show you how and tell you how our ancient ancestors used to work with seashells.